Check this out. We got a full titanium exhaust. Oh, nice. Throw that thing on charge and see maybe if we can start this thing up today. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be back to work on our McLaren 720S. As you guys see in the previous episode, we did get a lot of the wiring situated through there. We got everything routed really nice, and we were waiting on the subframe. And I was actually feeling under the weather over this new year, and we were actually waiting on some parts, so that's why there was no videos. But I'm feeling much better now, and our parts have arrived, so let's go ahead and check them out. So here's one of the few parts that came in. It's this subframe right here, and this did come off a pretty destroyed car, so hopefully it's all nice and straight. And we did get pretty lucky because this sensor right here on my car was absolutely destroyed, and it has it right here, so we got lucky on that. And then this side is destroyed, but as you guys know, the passenger side on my car was good. So we're gonna go ahead and give this thing a clean here in a bit and go ahead and start installing it. And we also did get the left side suspension. We just went ahead and ordered everything because I think my spindle might be still good on my car, but I didn't want to risk it. Make sure everything is good, so we went ahead and got the whole complete setup, and that's what you really want to do. If you have like a little bit of damage, just go ahead and replace everything. So we also have some parts that are a bit more exciting than these suspension components, and check this out. We got a full titanium exhaust with downpipes. This is from a company called Zenrage. Absolutely stunning handmade titanium exhaust. It's actually super light. We will be installing this thing a little bit later. I really want to get everything together in the front, but man, this thing is just super light. All the welds just look amazing. Everything looks great. And we also have these downpipes right here, and they also came with this sweet heat shielding, so we won't have to get anything for that. Check out the exhaust tips, guys. This is gonna look super sick on our McLaren. And if you guys are interested in an exhaust, head over to zenrage.com or click the link down below. They worked with us, they got our exhaust super quick, and they make exhaust for a lot of cars. Now let's get to work on our McLaren. So the first thing we're gonna do is go ahead and give this thing a nice clean, because as you can see, it's super dirty. It's been sitting for a long time, and it did come off a car that was crashed pretty hard. So let's go ahead and give this thing a clean up, and we'll go ahead and start installing it. So my little bro went ahead and cleaned the subframe. It looks absolutely amazing. Now what we're gonna do is go ahead and get this thing underneath the car. And you might notice that I did go ahead and put this old bumper on after hours. I was just seeing exactly how everything goes over here, because we did start ordering all the smaller brackets that usually get destroyed in parts cars, like all the brackets that hold the fender on. And that just gave us a good visual representation of exactly what we need to do. So now what we need to do is go ahead and lift this car up and get that subframe underneath. So we got the subframe installed underneath the MClaren. Everything lined up pretty good. All the bolt holes lined up. And it doesn't seem like it's bent anywhere because when I bolted this side up, everything just went right into place. Now what we need to do is start figuring out where all these wires go. We have a bunch of grounds. I'm guessing these grounds go down here to the spots on the subframe right here. We'll have to probably look on the other subframe and see where I left the bolts in. But let's go ahead and just start plugging everything up. And we will definitely get rid of a lot of these plugs because there's about 4 sensors just on the subframe. So that's gonna keep lowering the amount of plugs we have on the car. So let's go ahead and get everything situated. So I was just working on these wires over here and we have a broken plug, and I was planning on just going to a parts car and getting these little things out, the prongs that go in here, and fixing this plug. But I cut off a AC, I guess it's the pressure line hose off a 2003 BMW Z4, and it turns out these are exactly the same plugs. As you can see, they're exactly the same thing. You set them like that and it plugs up perfectly. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and solder this on, and we can finally put like our ABS unit back on our power steering pump. But that's crazy, guys, how the plugs are exactly the same. Like a 20-year difference right here in plugs, and they're exactly the same. So let's go ahead and get this back together. So now that we have all these wires nice and plugged up, what we're gonna do now is go ahead and put our power steering unit on right here. This can go on and then it plugs into the steering rack. So let's get it and install it. So I got the power steering unit all installed, got all the lines routed all the way down there. I still don't know where this ground goes, but I'm pretty sure it just goes somewhere to the subframe. But for now, what I'm gonna go ahead and do is install the ABS. So we pretty much have everything buttoned up over here. We got the ABS unit on, the power steering, all the lines are routed and plugged up. We are still waiting on this brake line right here, and it's gonna connect over here, somewhere down there. So we won't be able to pump the brakes yet, so we probably won't be able to get the car started. But what I wanna go ahead and do right now is get the left side suspension that we have and go ahead and install it over here. And then I think after that, we'll go ahead and put the fuse box on and probably try to turn the car on, see if the ignition turns on. So we got this entire suspension bolted on here, everything lined up pretty good. We did have a little bit of trouble getting this control arm on, but we got everything on. Now what I want to do is go ahead and take apart this entire setup right here and see exactly what's good and what's bad, so we can go ahead and just swap everything that's good onto there. And if we need to order something, we'll go ahead and put that on order. So let's disassemble this whole system. Well, the caliper looks pretty good. So I got everything I could possibly put on the driver's side over here. We are still missing one of these lines, or it's actually a wiring harness that goes to one of these plugs. And we also have to order a new brake line for this side. So pretty much we can't really go any farther over here. Now what I want to go ahead and do is put the fuse box on, plug everything up, and put the battery on and see if the ignition will even turn on. Because as you guys know, we did take apart pretty much every piece of this car and reassembled it. So let's go ahead and get this new fuse box on and see if it'll turn on. Turn on.
It sparks when it gets power, boss.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Let's see what happens. So check this out, guys. We put the battery on and everything just turned on inside. And the crazy thing is it's actually showing us the miles. The other time it was just showing a line through there and it wouldn't show us the miles. But we kind of already knew it had 2,600 because we talked to the previous owner. Now what I'm thinking is maybe the battery is dead. That's why there's a little line right here through the little battery thing, which is why it's not showing any of that, and which is probably why nothing else is turning on. And we do have a couple of faults right here, literally like 4 of them. There's really not much faults, which is pretty weird. But everything is looking pretty good, and I think we might need to get a new battery in our key, because the first time I turned it on, it did say key is not in car or key not detected. So I'm guessing either this battery's dead or the battery out there is dead, and it's just causing all kinds of problems. So we're gonna have to go ahead and throw that thing on charge and see maybe if we can start this thing up today. So we went ahead and put the battery on charge, and now what I want to do is go ahead and get some brake fluid in this thing. So what I'm going to do is actually just put a vice grip on this line over here and then cap off that line, and we can actually go ahead and bleed the rear brake system, and then we just need to put some gas and some oil, and I think we can crank this thing up today. So we went ahead and capped off the front brake lines. Now what we need to do is go ahead and take off both of the rear tires so we can get to the little bleeder screws right here, and then we can grab some brake fluid and pump these brakes real nice. So we have everything ready to bleed the brakes, and now what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to the store and get some oil for the engine and some brake fluid.
No, see, it's different stuff. You can't mix it.
So we just got back from Napa, and we actually got the right brake fluid. We got some .4, and then we have some power steering fluid. This is a Pentosin CHF 202, and then we also got 5 quarts of oil. I think we might actually need more, but if we do, we'll go back and get some. So right now, let's go ahead and pump these brakes, get some pressure in the ABS unit, and then we'll go ahead and put the oil in the engine. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the passenger side rear. Go ahead and pump all the air out of here. Simply pop that on there. All right, pump it, Nathan. That's good. All right, pump it, Nathan. All right, hold it. Nice, that's good. All right, hold, pump it. How's the brakes feel, Nate? So we got the brakes all nice and pumped. We did have a couple of leaks back there, but we went ahead and tightened up all the lines, make sure everything's good. Now the brakes don't go all the way to the bottom. So now what we're gonna do is go ahead and lift up the car. I need to actually tighten up some of the drain plugs, and then we can go ahead and fill it up with oil and try to start it. So we went ahead and put some oil in the car, and now what we need to do is go grab some gasoline and put the battery on, and hopefully this thing will crank right up. So I went ahead and got some gas. Now we need to just put the battery on, unlock the door for the gas, pour it in, and see if this thing will start up.
Faith in the guy though.
I'm literally gonna drive it today.
There's some pieces that are broken.
Nah. Oh. So we went ahead and put the gas in the car. Now this is the moment of truth. All we need to do is plug up this battery, and let's see if this thing will start up. So we got everything plugged up, and guys, this is the moment of truth. As you guys know, we pretty much took apart every inch of this McLaren. It's already been 2 months. We never started when it came from the auction. So let's go ahead and see if it fires up. We got the key right here. So there it is, guys. The car started up with no problems at all. We didn't have to plug anything else up. All the plugs were plugged up exactly how they should be. And it's kind of crazy because we did take every inch of this car apart, and everything runs perfectly. Now I can't really let it run long because there is no antifreeze in there, but we let it run for like 10 seconds, so it didn't even get to warm up, anything like that. But man, that is just insane. I'm shook. This is crazy. I'm at a loss for words, guys, because it's been 2 months since we got this car, and I never knew, like, I didn't even know if it started or anything, or if the motor was bad or something like that. So it's a big weight off my shoulders. And guys, I want to give you guys a big shout out, all the people that were supporting me, saying I could do it. There was a couple of naysayers, but hey, all you gotta do is put your mind to it, and you can do it, because this is a super car, and everything is supposedly super hard to work on, but honestly, it's just like a Honda Civic. But now that we got this thing started, we can go ahead and just finish up the entire car. So guys, that's gonna be a wrap for today's video. We got a lot of work done on the McLaren. The major parts of this car are finally complete. Everything here is buttoned up, although we are still missing a couple of brake lines, but hopefully they'll be in the next episode. And in the next episode, we are gonna go ahead and install that exhaust over there. We just don't have time today's episode. I wanna get you guys out a video because it's been quite some time. And really the only thing we need to drive this car is that brake line and this tire rod right here. The shock is on order. So once we get all that, we can actually take this thing up the road. So guys, that's it. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, drop a like, follow us on Instagram at VTune. And if you want some VTune merch, head over to vtune.com. Thanks for watching.